Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dear listeners. My name is Kipsomok Chebet from our Christian Army podcast, New Testament Church in Kawangware. Before I continue with anything else, I'd really love to say thank you, asante sana, to all our listeners for listening to our podcast, sharing, subscribing to our YouTube channel. We're very appreciative of your support. This is the 4th episode, and God has been an amazing guide to all of us. I know you're wondering who the Christian Army is. We are youths talking about Christ, for Christ, and by Christ. Today we're going to talk about a subject that is a bit testy, a bit, unbalanced, because we all have our different thoughts and our different mindsets. So today we are talking about spirituality, physicality, and believe in faith in God. I have my very, very precious guest, and I would love for them to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Sharon Rugut, and I can't wait to engage with you in this podcast.
Yes, good evening. My name is James Mugeni, and I'm so grateful to be here so that I can engage also in this discussion to discuss and know the way forward.
My name is John Pepela, and it's a great pleasure to be back again.
And my name is Doreen Cherono, and I love to be here.
Thank you so much and welcome. I really love that you're all here and you're looking so amazing. Thank you so much for being here. First, I know this is going to be a very hard and testy subject. We all have our different beliefs. We all have our different ways of understanding this thing. So for the first thing that I would love for all of you to help me understand. So how will you define faith? How will you define spirituality? And how would you define belief?
I'm going to define faith according to the Bible, Hebrews 11:1. Faith is assurance of the things hoped for and the conviction for something. Yeah, something like that. And spirituality is more of a personal belief about something. Whereas belief. Spirituality means you believe in something or a certain higher divine power, but believe it's a general term. You can believe in God, you can believe. It does not exclude, or it's not an inclusive thing. It's not inclusive, or what can I say? It does not keep you into one box. It's a general term, so many people can believe in different things.
Thank you.
To add on what she said, I think I'd agree with everything she said, especially about faith. The second one was spirituality.
Yeah.
Spirituality is basically it's accepting that there is something that is beyond you, and you choose to believe in it. You choose to follow your connection to it. It's a personal connection to something that is beyond you. It's transcendent or something. And then belief is just accepting something to be true. Anything you accept to be true, you believe in it. You believe it's true. That's belief. And then the other one was faith. I think they are well covered by her.
All right.
Yeah, I think just to echo what they have said. Faith also, we can also say that it is a sense to believe in something. Just as they have said, to sense you believe in something. Just as my brother has said, that's above you. So like us, we believe in God, that our faith is in God, because God is above us.
No. Doreen, do you have something to add?
Yes, actually. Maybe I can say the difference now between the spirituality and faith. Now, if you have faith in, we for example, as Christians, we have faith in God, and our connection, our spirituality now comes in because we are now connecting with God. The spirituality is the connection that you have with God. So you can believe in God, but you are not spiritual. You have not connected with God.
Yes. So basically, we just say spirituality is is connecting,
yes,
and being a friend to God.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. I know there's a lot of stories in the Bible, but one actually really speaks to me in a very strong manner. Speaking of Esther, Esther was a Jewish girl, but she became what was king? She became in another land.
The wife.
The wife. Now she became king. Yeah. And like the way she prayed and asked for people to fast for 3 days.
Yeah.
To me, she had connected. She knew God would do it for her and for her people.
Yeah.
So that is really nice. So there's something also that I want to know. Is spirituality and religion connected? Are they similar or are they different?
So spirituality and religion, those things go hand in hand. Religion is actually like Christianity. It's a whole, what can I say? It's like a denomination. It's like Christianity, Islam. So that's our religion. We are Christians, or Islamic or Hinduism. That's our religion. But now the spirituality, you said it was religion and spirituality.
Yeah.
Now spirituality now is that connection.
Uh-huh.
That connection with the higher, like Christians, we believe in God.
God, yes.
So spirituality comes in now when we are connecting. We are individually connecting with God. Our spirituality is on God. But now we are Christians. We are Christians. All of us can be Christians, but then the point again comes to connecting with God, being spiritual. Yes.
Yeah, just spiritual and religion, they go hand in hand. And as we all know that religion is like a group of people, or a community of people that they share similar beliefs. Yeah, like let me give you an example. We have Christian religion, we have the Islamic religion. So there's something we believe in. So that belief that we have is what brings make us to be a religion for particular
Yes.
whatever. And that's actually that connection, because kuna hiyo ka spirit, yani ka spirit, kuna ka spirit connection fulani hapo hivyo.
And to add on that, I think religion it's kind of around it goes around spirituality in such a way that it involves the beliefs, the practices, the things you do concerning your spirituality. It's more of like a laws or something that surround your spirituality, and it's like an institution or an organization. I think that's how religion works.
Sure.
I'm not going to contradict you guys, but okay, let me ask you this. Spirituality and religion, it's more like you believe in a certain God. Hinduism, Christianity, but there are people who say they're spiritual but not religious. There are atheists who claim they are spiritual but they don't believe in a certain, atheists don't believe there's any higher being. And then there are unaffiliated people. They don't believe in anything. They're just there, but they claim they're spiritual. Kuna hawa watu wanafanyanga yoga and stuff. To them, that's like connected.
I understand.
Being.
But now that means there is a spirit, so that they're believing in it. So one way or another, I think there should be a higher power for them.
Exactly. But that means spirituality and religion are two different things.
Okay, I understand.
The yoga people, they do yoga or do those stuff because they are working on their spiritual self. It's their personal space, their personal peace. But they don't. Christians, we work on a spiritual connection with God. Mm-hmm. So you see, that's a different thing.
Yeah, I understand. Being religious, you don't have to be affiliated to a specific spiritual connection for you to be religious. You can be religious because, like I said, it's like the laws surrounding what you're connected to, the practices you have surrounding what you're connected to. Someone is religious. I mean, you do not have to be affiliated to a certain spiritual belief. I don't know if you get it.
I get your point, but it still comes back to religion. Religious is like doing something religiously, practicing it. That's religion. Religion is like Christianity. So I'm just saying, I don't think Christianity and spiritual. I know as a Christian, I'm building my spiritual connection with God. But some people are spiritual, but they're not Christian, they're not Hindus, they're not. So I think spirituality and religion are two different things.
They vary.
But I think there's still that connection with that spirituality. So even if it's a religion, there's something that's connecting.
So what she's just trying to say is they vary, but they marry each other.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Do you get me?
But I don't get the fact that you can be spiritual, but you're not you see, you're connecting to a higher being.
Yeah.
Being spiritual, you accepting that there's a higher.
Let's not say a higher being, a higher power.
For yoga people, they're just working on their spirit, that having that peace or being, having a sense of purpose. But
So you're saying they're connecting with themselves?
yeah,
Yeah.
the real us, there's soul, there's the body, but the real us is the spirit. Yes, yes. So they are working on their spirit. They don't believe in any higher power, but they are working on their
Now they are connecting with themselves.
Yes.
And they call it being spiritual.
Exactly.
Really, you're connecting with your spirit. So
You're being spiritual.
No, there must be something you're connecting to.
You're connecting with you're working on your body.
Okay. Your spirit is connecting to what? To your spirit.
To your spirit is connected to your spirit. And yoga, or is it maybe not yoga, or I go to the gym, or I'm walking, like I'm just working on my
Actually, my gym is not spiritual.
It's not like it's spiritual. I'm not saying it's spiritual, but I'm doing certain practices to work on myself, my spirit. The real me is not this body.
You're working on yourself. That's not
work on my finding that peace and sense of purpose.
but
I don't believe it's different, because if I'm being yako unataka kusema ile like you're a Christian, you're talking from a perspective of a Christian. So as a Christian, you have that, like you're working on your spiritual.
But do you know not all Christians are spiritual?
Yeah, not all Christians are spiritual too.
Yes.
So I was saying that as a Christian, you're working on a spiritual
life
connection with God. With that means you pray, you worship, you read the Bible. Those practices that you're doing, you are working on your spiritual connection with God.
Yes.
But as a person who is someone who is out there, they're doing other things like yoga, or I've used yoga because it's what I know.
Yes.
They are working on their spiritual self, but not their spiritual connection with God.
Now they are connecting to themselves.
It should not be. It's not a must that we're connected to God. He or she can be connected to something else.
Yeah. Being connected to something else is also totally different. Namaanisha kuna mtu atakuwa na connect to something else, and then kuna mtu ha connect to anything. Like those are the unaffiliated people. They don't connect with anything. And then kuna sa atheists, like huku nje there are different kind of stuff going out.
Like, superficially, when you look at it, like you're saying someone is connected to the yoga stuff you're talking about. They, inside their heart, inside their mind, they don't want to agree that it's a religious practice. But we all know that the rules surrounding a certain kind of spiritual connection is a religious practice. So in as much as you don't want to agree, in as much as they don't want to agree, it's true. Like you can't deny something just because you think that way. That's being like dogmatic or something.
Okay, so you are saying that it's a religious practice, like doing the yoga is religious.
Yeah.
So these people are being spiritual because they are connecting to the religious, the practice.
To the religion of yoga.
Yeah,
So
something like that.
how do you bring in the spirituality?
See, it's a spiritual thing they're doing.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the way they sit like this? Okay, I wish we had camera. They sit like this and then they put their
Apparently, I heard it's demonic, those sort of practice.
Yeah, so there's cosmos. They stand, do this.
Behind everything, because when you define religion, it's the laws surrounding that spiritual activity that you do, the laws surrounding how you worship whatever you worship. So when you just follow those laws, that's already a religion.
Yeah.
In itself, it's already a religion. So it's a religion. It's just that they don't want to agree. They don't want to accept. Yeah.
They're connecting with
It's I know it's that's why I said this topic is a bit testy and hard, because we are going through things. Sometimes you're like, hey, I am trying to understand. Okay, as a Christian, I sometimes question myself and I'm like, is there really God? And then you are like, let me just go back to what I have been going through. And the day I said, God, let your will be done, and there was a change in my life. So still, I think there's that aspect of faith. That is when it comes into it. Because sometimes you say, I look at my life back, and then right now, like, if you know my history, back in 2015, I was down. And by year 2015, I had completely left going to church. I used to sing alto in the youth choir, and I stopped going to church. After I became a sick, at some point I was just like, I'm in Nakufa June. That was June 2015. And was really like telling my mom I want a white coffin and all that stuff. So it came to 2015 June, I did not die. So in August I was like, Kufa, so that means there should be a God, and I am not yet, my work is not yet done. In 2018, on the 31st, I told God I want to work for you, because I had started like changing. Everything was changing. And God worked in the most amazing way in my life. And that is when I think my belief and my faith was so much like, it has always been God. It is all around God. And I think there are some things you'll go through and know that there is God, God will let you go through some things to build your faith.
Yeah.
Or I think there's always a story behind someone or their life.
Yeah, sure.
And that way,
Any decision.
not even decision. Let's talk about faith. There's always something that will make you have faith. You will not question God, because at that point I think you're just like, nimeona Mungu. Sometimes I just tell someone, mi niliona Mungu.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that is it. So there's a question that actually turns my mind. How do we address like the story of creation? Is it a science, or is it how do I put it? Is it a godly adventure? Let me call it adventure, or something like that. So let me just start from there. How do you address that question?
Personally, a little bit about myself. I really love studying about the universe, because I don't know, it's just a passion. I really love studying about the universe, how the early universe began. That's according to science, because the Bible just says, the first day created this, the second day says this. But now, I think I love a little bit of many stories, so that's why I really love studying about the Big Bang and the stuff, and just everything that happens in the universe. So this is a question that I might not be in a very good position to answer, because I find myself at some point, I think I believe in the Big Bang and something a little bit. So I want just someone to help me understand. I don't know. Can we connect these things or what? Because
Sasa sitabidi wetukumbusha the Big Bang thing. So the only thing I understand is evolution, like we evolved as humans. So okay.
and I also believe in that one.
Yeah, we also believe in evolution.
Yeah.
No, but me,
I'm such a very
what?
So I will honest. It started like this. According to science, in the beginning there was nothing. Like there was nothing. I understand it's very hard to comprehend nothingness. Like just imagine there is nothing. Everything that you're seeing right now, haikukuwa nothing, and then all of a sudden there was just a flash that happened, and then everything just came to being. And then it started expanding. And
Flash?
Yeah.
No. Nimesimama hapo kwa flash. There's a contradiction here. There was nothing, and then there was a flash.
Yeah.
A flash.
What caused that flash?
Mi naona science ni facts. So science mi naona ziki intermarry na religion. The fact that you were not there when that happened. Pia Bible we were not there, but we believe in it. Yeah. So you choosing whether it's science or unajua ingekuwa kitu like tuliona it happen. And then there is this, we saw this. Yeah. So tunafaa kuamini kitu tuliona, and then there is religion hatukuona hiyo ya Mungu, but we never saw one up. Tukienda yenye tuliona, but zote hatukuona.
But no, with the story it is not theory, but this is the Big Bang theory. Theory. It is just theory. It is something that, when you tell me it's a theory, it's something that it's a bit.
Yeah, but it can't
no, but you see, Bible is theory. It's not a theory.
No, Bible is practical.
It's not a theory. God.
Bible is fact.
No.
Science.
Let us start.
But you see, I love the way John said that there was nothing, and also in the Bible there was nothing. And then God created
In the book of
everything.
Genesis chapter 1.
Yeah, so it means there's some point that science and religion can intermarry.
Science and religion can intermarry. Yes, I do. Not in the way that we are thinking, there was something, it banged, it did that. We are not so sure. It's a theory.
So that flash of light, where did it came from?
Yes.
We want to know it.
That's the point where we don't know. Like there was this. I know all of you have heard about Albert Einstein. Yeah. So that's the point. He said maybe there was a God, because beyond the Big Bang theory, there's no one who can explain what happened. No one can explain how the flash came. No one can explain how from nothingness, from Like everything in the world was compressed to a volume of 0. You can imagine everything was compressed to a volume of 0. Like there was no volume, and then all of a sudden a flash happens, and then it begins to expand. I can talk about this.
Then if I may, so we can see how maybe according to that theory, but how the men came up to exist.
So there's a joke outside there, a half joke that says if you leave hydrogen out in the open, it will start talking. So it
will talk.
But let me explain. That's why I said it's a half joke. That's why you didn't even laugh. So
but it's fine.
So if you leave hydrogen, it means in the beginning. Now, when everything happened, like it was around a quadrillion degrees Celsius of temperature at that point. So at that point, the first thing that formed was hydrogen, because it's the lightest element. So after hydrogen formed, it started combining. It's called fission. So it started combining one hydrogen atom with another hydrogen atom. It forms helium. They combine, they form carbon. And then carbon, everything is carbon, hydrogen, carbon, hydrogen. We are based of hydrogen and carbon. That's why I say if you leave hydrogen in the open for a long time, it begins talking. Like you're made of hydrogen.
Really?
Yeah.
Hapo wajaribu kitu there's a pro.
But it's true. You're made of hydrogen and carbon.
Yeah.
But and when we go back to the evolution theory, I totally disagree with that theory. I really
Okay.
let me say about
Was it monkeys and then
monkeys. Then
apes?
That one, and then we live because of the bones that were found.
but let me say mbona the current hizo baboons bones za pia zikuwa wanadamu.
Okay.
Because they were meant to have bones.
Let me answer that one.
No way.
Let me answer that one.
With the evolution.
We usually have a misconception.
But then one is really stop.
Because there's a misconception. Like, it's not the apes. Like, ukisoma history utaambiwa ape-like beings.
Yes,
Apes.
they're not apes.
And then
Zilesha.
hii theory na
Zilesha.
ilikuwa siari, and then ile different cultures had like the way we came into this world. Sijui mguu ya nani ilipasuka, mama na baba wakakuja.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fallacy.
There was a giant. There was the knee of the giant, and we came out of the knee of the giant.
It doesn't have any proof whatsoever. But now evolution, you see, you're saying why can't we continue to evolve? There's somewhere, I don't know, it's Antarctica or something. Like, I don't know, in a mountain planet, unless or something. Like people have evolved in a way that when you ukienda huko, chakula huko, hewa huko ni sumu, but watu wako huko wame-evolve in a way that haiwa affect kabisa. So evolution iliacha cause the surrounding best suits us.
You adapt to your surroundings.
You adapt kwa hiyo, so hatuwezi endelea kwa evolve. In case something happens sahi, maybe kitu happens sahi, watu watakufa, alafu sasa natural selection ita happen, and then but yet I believe in evolution that it will come from whatever. I believe maybe the way we were created, we've continued to adapt in different ways hadi tukafika kule tu.
Yeah.
So we've evolved in such a that's how I choose to believe in evolution. See the Mungu aliumba monkey. I don't believe.
Mungu aliumba monkey. Hata alituumba tukakuwa monkey, aliumba monkey. Na akatuumba different. But we have adapted to the surroundings.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, this topic is thirsty. And John, are you a scientific dictionary? Because well, we live content.
Passion.
No, but I think there's that thing he really loves what he reads about, because probably
I'm curious.
Yeah, you know, if I ask you there's something that you like. For me, by the way, if you ask me about a set book, honestly, give me one day and I come tomorrow.
What's your best set book so far?
My best set book so far is ilikuwa inaitwa nini? The River Between. So there's The River Between and The River and the Source.
The River and the Source is...
I did The River and the Source in campus. I did The River Between in high school. So yeah. And at this point, if you ask me what is your best set book, I am like, I don't remember, because I think in secondary I did 32. In that day, I think I...
The best one depends with the moods and...
No, most of the books actually you just Simon. And then there's Simon.
Naba, Grusha, Vashnadza.
That's a one. It's quite.
Caucasian.
Actually, my students had a really hard time with Caucasian chalk cycle.
But that because it's hard.
It is hard.
But the moment you see it's so interesting.
Yes, no, and I have not said it is not interesting. It is interesting, but it is hard.
Yeah, when it comes
When it comes to like you have to talk about the themes, the whatever. You know, the good thing about science is you're just in a topic and you are done. But you ask me about infinite Avogadro's number, I don't remember anything about it. And one fact about Albert Einstein that I know.
Yeah.
He was dyslexic. He could not read, but he was a genius.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, that guy was a genius.
So can I add something about the religion and science?
Yeah.
I think religion comes it talks about man's purpose, but for science now it brings the power of that man to do that particular thing or to achieve it.
I think you've gone to the difference between religion and spirit and science. Yes, we are.
No, he's talking about the connection between the two.
I'm trying to connect them.
But that's the difference.
Say it again, James.
I say that religion it talks about man's purpose.
Yes.
Man's purpose. But now for the science, it gives the power. It talks about man's power to achieve that particular thing or that purpose.
Oh.
Yes, may I agree with him. Actually, may I believe that God created us, and then also God gave us the ability to the mind to know about this science, to know about the evolution, to talk about all this. God gave us the mind, the knowledge.
Hata the Bible inasema wanadamu wamejifanyia ufumbuzi mwingi.
Yes.
So wamejifanyia ufumbuzi ni science.
Yes. Uvumbuzi. Also, Kiswahili lakini naongeanga Kiswahili broken, so don't mind about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and do you think that when I believe in science and I'm also a religious person, is that a case of dualism?
I think first let's define dualism. Maybe some of us don't understand.
Okay.
Like dualism is that it's like a cognitive disorder where you believe in things that are kind of antagonistic. Like this one heads this way and this one heads this way, but you believe in both. So you can call it as disorder. I was reading somewhere and they were terming it as they were terming it as a cognitive disorder. So that's why I was asking myself personally, am I a dualist, and is it a sin like to believe in science and at the same time to believe in religion?
I would say it's not a sin, because God gave you that mind to be inquisitive. He gave you that mind to be bright enough to, like, yes, you know the science, you're interested in the science, but you still believe that God is behind everything that all those people who were there talking about evolution and all that, the people who were the scientists. Yeah. Still, like there are people who are given that mind by God.
Yes.
And the thing about you is that you're inquisitive enough to want to know more about that science. But in a way, as you question that science, it still makes you know that you believe in God, because you want to know the origin of that thing. That is from my end.
Yes. What comes now? What the bad thing that comes with it is maybe if you start believing so much in science until you are like, God doesn't exist. No, that's where it becomes bad. Yet I think it's not a sin.
You believe in science is vitu ndogo ndogo kama like plants, photosynthesis. It's like facts, vitu ziko. So you like I affect anything in your spiritual life. So it depends on what you believe in. Kuna science pia at a point you're like, is it affecting your spiritual life, or is it affecting relationship with your body?
It shouldn't affect relationship. So as much as you are being inquisitive and you're doing your research on that science, if it is not touching your faith, if it is not changing your faith, you still believe there is a God, then I believe you're on the right path.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it also helps you when you have to counter. Is it called a counter attack?
Exactly.
Yeah, when someone comes and tells you, questions you believe in God and the story of science.
Yeah.
You know how much you know that much to tell them God is real as much as there is science, because as we've said, science is a fact, but God is also a fact. So there's a way you can marry them and explain to them why you believe in that there is a God, and yet you know the science behind how things became.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think just science, you can just have the knowledge about it. You have the knowledge, then vile mmesema tu ya kwamba you know God is behind everything. Yeah. That's science should not change our faith or our belief.
Okay.
I'm enlightened. Thank you, guys.
I think you should just write a book. You should author a book about science and God and all these religions.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about that. Cause there are many questions that I usually have. Cause science cannot answer everything, and you just look at science like out of nothing, there was a flash, and also the Bible says out of nothing, God said, "Let there be," and all of a sudden there was. Yeah, there are many questions. I can talk about science all day.
And actually, there are people who believe that everything is on God. They don't believe in science. Now, how would you tell somebody like believes like
you know,
everything happens is God?
That one is a little bit fallacious, because there's no way you can fail to believe in science, because everything went this because of science. The microphones we're using now is because of science. So if you choose to not believe in science completely, then you know, I don't know. You can choose to believe in the parts that seem like they're affecting you in terms of your relationship to your God, but now there are things that actually make sense.
Probably we should just get you on set alone, and then we can talk about science and everything. Yeah, we'll be here to give you questions and all that. So there is this term that says, we have left the church, but we have not left God. And it has really been doing rounds on social media. And here comes the question that I want to ask you before we get into that. Have you ever questioned your spiritual beliefs? Have you ever questioned why you're a Christian?
Personally, yeah. Actually, there was a time it was like a crisis. You see, I've been telling you I have a passion in science, and I used to really read a lot about science. And leo nashema sana, shida ni nini? I used to read a lot about science, and then something happened, and there's someone I met when she was not of the same faith that I subscribed to, and then one thing led to another. So I was really searching for the meaning of everything. So I had to look I read a lot about science, but the sikuona kama inaweza make the sense that I need. So I read like many religious books. Nilisoma Bible cover to cover, nikasoma Quran cover to cover. You know, I was looking for, nilikuwa natafuta tu majibu. So there are many times that you can question your faith, but so hiyo time before nisome Bible yote sikuwa nimesoma Quran. I mean, before nisome Quran yote sikuwa nimemaliza Bible. So the moment every other time nilikuwa nasoma Quran, questions kwanza ndo zina increase. Unashangaa hapana bwana, there's something called jihad or jihad or something.
Jihad,
yeah, killing in the name of Allah. Manze, nilikuwa like hii ndio Mungu anasema hapana bwana. So there was a time nilikuwa nasoma Bible kwa hiyo to crisis yenye nilikuwa nayo, and kulikuwa na verse ilikuwa inasema for there is nothing on this earth. I can't remember exactly ilikuwa part gani. Ilikuwa inasema neither angels, neither demons. Like there was nothing that could separate you from the love of God. Hata in everything that you're going through, yani hakuna kitu inaweza kuseparate na God. Hapo ndo nilikaa chini kwanza nika reflect sana about that verse, and all of a sudden I felt like kila kitu yote nimekuwa nasoma imekuwa futile, imekuwa kila kitu yote nilikuwa natafuta ilikuwa futile, because
you got your answer in one verse.
Nilipata answer yangu kwa hiyo verse. So na every other time wanga nikifikiria in situation, because most of the times kitu inafanya una doubt your faith yako, unajidoubt, inakuanga either problems, either watu wanakusurround, they're telling you something, or there's just an expectation that it has not been met. So unafikiria maybe I'm alienated from God, ama God hata hayuko. but kitu unafaa ukumbuke ni Mungu anakupenda, hakuna kitu itakuseparate na yeye. Hizo shida unafikiria, hiyo pesa unafikiria haitawahi kuseparate na Mungu. So I think you just going back to the word, you find your answer hapo ndani. Hapo ndio mimi nilipata,
and I think everyone will get that answer from a different verse.
Ile yangu maybe hata utashangaa huyu jamaa anaongelea nini. Hiyo peke yake mimi hiyo ndio ilifanya nikachange. Wewe utapata mali pengine. Kwa hiyo Bible tu.
Sharon,
okay, I think kila mtu go through a certain stage. Like there was a time unaonanga like you go to church religiously, una feel you're doing everything right, but sasa what you want, like it's not happening the way you want to happen. And then pia that could you compare, you know, sometimes you're like, let me just follow, like be like work on my relationship with God, or let's just say do the right thing. And then huku nje unapata watu wenye wanafanya vitu unaona ifai kufanywa, the things wanataka, or like maisha yao inaenda poa, and then you're doing the right thing but haiendi poa, so you're like, is it really worth it, unaona? So ukifikanga hiyo point unaanza kudoubt. But sasa during your process nilirealize that sometimes you're doing the right thing, unaenda church, you're being nice or you're being kind or nini, but hauna hiyo relationship na Mungu. So I guess hiyo ndio kitu ilikuwa inanifanya ni doubt juu I was just doing it because unajua kuna ile kitu you're doing it because it's the right thing, like you just want to do because unajua inafaa, like you're supposed to do it, but do I really like, is my heart really there? So unaona ile like unaenda church, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you just want to like look like a nice person out there, ama like Mungu aone ujafanya kitu mbaya, lakini hauna your relationship na God. So venye ilifika hiyo point nili doubt, but at some mimi naonanga ikifika hiyo point you are doubting, it strengthens your relationship na Mungu. The moment unarudi from your doubt, like unaanza kuona why, mbona ulikuwa unataka kufish, were you doing it for the right purpose, ama ulikuwa unataka, unajua singine unafanya hii eti ndio Mungu akuonekanie, ama ndio make what you want happen will come through. So like I was being selfish, I was not really working on me, I just wanted to do it because I wanted something. So it can let your doubt, but eventually mimi naona doubt inafanya like it strengthens, it has a purpose,
because you go back to look for an answer.
It strengthens your relationship yako na Mungu.
Hey, James.
Yes.
How has the story been like?
Yeah, as a normal human being, inafikanga ba lazima unaanza kusema kweli kuna God. Lakini but I believe is a verse in Isaiah should be 43. Hapo chini either verse 2 sema kwamba wakati unapokuwa unapita, when you go through the valleys of darkness, God is with you. So challenges mostly, just as my sister and brother has said, kwamba challenges wanafanya mtu mostly na the people surrounding you wafanya uanze kudoubt your faith. But the moment narudi kwa Bible, because we are being led by the Bible, nasema kwa Mungu amesema kwamba wakati napokuwa katika majaribu ako pamoja na mimi, he's there with me. And when you go in the book of John chapter 14, there's a time Yesu anapokuwa anataka kuondoka, his disciples started having their hearts were being troubled, and Jesus he encouraged them that let their heart not be troubled, because he's going to send them a helper, and we have a helper. So the time that naona kwamba we want to doubt our faith, the Bible reminds us, or whatever we can reminds us that we have a helper with us. So na pia, just as in the book of, I believe Romans 8 around 28, that no tribulations, any death should not separate us, should not separate us from the love of God. So that's why we need always to be encouraged that God is with us and he loves us. Tribulations zifanya tukakata tamaa ama kuendelea kumtumainia, tuendelee tu kumwishia. Na the moment I come to realize that God is still with me, and he said that he will never leave me like an orphan, so I always praise on unto him, and yeye nimefanya imani yangu kuinuliwa sana.
Okay, now for me, I have also like that thing about you going to church, and then unafika point unasema sasa mbona naenda church, alafu like you are like or you are out here, you are like, I believe in God, but even I don't want to go to church. So also it happened to me that I was that person I didn't want. I was like, see me, I believe in God. So hata nikienda kanisa, nisipoenda kanisa, like it's the same thing. Like I believe in God, because I had not, reached that point, had that connection with God. So utapata most of us who believe that hata wendi kanisa utapata we are going to club, we are going clubbing, we are fornicating, we are doing all those things. And then tutakuwa tu kanisa on Sunday. Tutakuwa tu kanisa. And then, we believe that, nimekuja church. And then let me tell you something. What I used to say, I go clubbing and then I come to church and say, nimetoka Friday clubbing. And then Saturday nasema, Sunday nasema, wacha tu niende church. Jana nilikuwa hangover, wacha tu niende. Let me just go to church, like, to get that's like connection now with God. And then, the next week again, you'll be doing the same thing.
Same thing. It's a cycle.
Yes, I understand. People have been there. But then, unajua, you have not gotten that connection with God. Because it reached a point I was like, hizi vitu nafanya huku nje, it's all in vain. It's nothing. I gained nothing. You go clubbing, you waste yourself out there. There's nothing you get.
You waste money.
You waste money and you get nothing. Let me tell you, you come out of there empty. Empty kabisa. And then you're like, you're going to church. Na unaenda church. And then unajua, you get even, hata watu wanakushanga. So ulikuwa jana club, mbona unaenda kanisa? Unaenda kufanya nini kanisa?
And then I think neither how to recall. But there, so in our campus days, you'll out and then Sato is, and then pia tukiwa campus, there was that, and you realize, as much as to say I believe in God, kuna church inasaidia. Having that sense of community when you believe in the same thing, in a strength. But the moment tuko huku nje, unasema you believe in God, mtu akwambia tuende club kuna ile, like having those friends that believe in the same thing pia inasaidia.
Acha ni
Yes,
story.
so-
Unajua campus, I could count the number of times I went to church.
I didn't go to church.
Because I felt like by then my spiritual life was I was a child when niliraiziwa kwa kanisa. For my mom, we used to call her Simba wa Yuda. I'm telling you that woman, Sunday asubuhi 5, all of you are awake, mnafanya shughuli. By 9, all of you are supposed to be in church. Everyone, sema hauna nguo wala utafunga leso ukienda kanisa. So I grew up knowing going to church was the norm. It was not because I was saved or anything. Nilikuwa naenda kanisa kwa sababu one, the woman who was paying my fees was a Christian.
Yes.
Second, alikuwa Simba wa Yuda, angewatandika nyinyi wote, unashangaa alitoa wapi nguvu. So like by the time I got to campus, I was I'm prison. Ayuko nikienda home nitaenda church. That is it. So I did not have a spiritual life. Continue. Sorry for cutting.
Yes. So now the point of like you're out there, you believe in God, and then you don't come to church. I do not support it. You have to come to church to get the spiritual growth. Tusikwe tu huko nje tunasema eti we believe in God and we do not come to church. You believe in God and your friends that you hang out with are the people who are going clubbing.
Yeah.
You will never grow and you'll continue clubbing, you'll continue sinning. You will not get, because your friends also influence
you.
You are with friends who are going clubbing, who are fornicating, you'll be like them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come to church, you meet people, you meet youths in church who are worshiping God, who are faithfully waiting upon God, and it influences you also. And then you start coming to church, you get the spiritual nourishment, and you start growing, you start reading the Bible. Actually, that's how I grew for me. I started, when I came to church, I was like, wow, kumbe kuna watu wako kanisa, they are youths like me, they are worshiping God.
Yeah.
And then I said, wow. And then when I went back, when I came to church and then I went home, I felt I did not feel empty. The emptiness that I used to come out at 4 a.m. in the club, this time I felt like I was full. I was so happy. I was so full. And then I was longing. I was going to nilikuwa naenda job nikisema guy itafika Sunday lini. I have to be here. I was so happy. And then I kept coming. And then I started reading the Bible. And it was so amazing. So tusikwe tu uko nje tunasema eti we just believe in God. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then unasin and then inafika one point unasema we nimesin sana. Acha tu niende niombe Mungu.
Yeah,
Not have that connection.
so I think Paul encourages that we should not forget the gathering of presence.
Kabisa.
Yeah, and that little thing, that thing really hit me, because when you get together as brethren, you get uplifted spiritually. because unaona kwamba in the Bible God advised the children of Israel kwamba that they will be meeting, so that wakaita kukumbushwa kama in the course of the week kuna kitu wamesahau, so that being reminded. That's why coming to the where others are as brethren, it really helps us to be strengthened spiritually, even our social life. Because when you come into the gathering, someone can share his or her testimony, and through that you can be encouraged.
Sure.
And there is one way, the one way of uplifting someone.
And also to add on that, someone might tell you, mbona niende church, because naenda church, like she said, you people who are like-minded mna encourageana. Mtu atakwambia mimi nasoma Bible, I usually get encouraged every day. I'll remind them of the story of Jesus. Yesu ni nini hakuwa anajua. Mtu anakuwa tempted, anajibu shetani right on time. Ani alikuwa anajua Bible. But ukisoma the time when alienda akasema ati the spirit of the word has been fulfilled in front of your eyes. Bible inasema nini? Like it was his custom. You imagine Yesu na hiyo knowledge yote ya Bible yenye alikuwa nayo. Alikuwa na custom ya kwenda church every other Sunday. Alikuwa anaenda church, ama Saturday, whatever the day he was going, alikuwa anaenda church. So wewe usiniambia ati nasomanga tu Bible nikiwa peke yangu na kuwa encourage. Yesu alikuwa anajua Bible yote, utamwambia nini? Lakini na alikuwa anaenda church. Kwa inasema it was his custom.
That's nice. I'll be running short of time. As we end, I'll just give you my situation. Last year actually was a very tasty, hard year for me, where I questioned God a lot. So this Sunday, my mom tells me, enda kanisa, tutaonana. And that is the last time I saw my mom alive. So that was the first death. So it was early January. We buried mom in a very nice, colorful burial, or I could say church service or whatever that was, because oh my God, I saw God. And then in end of March, beginning of April, I lost 3 friends. One on Monday, one on Wednesday, another one I think it was on Saturday. So like that night I was feeling like, if God is really if God really loves us, why is he like taking these people? And then the 3 that have died, we all have the same condition. We're in the same support group for lupus. So I was like, these ones have died, no, it's me next. That night I cried. Like I was like, it was so painful. And because in my mind, Satan will just use anything. In my mind, I was just like, I'm gonna die, and people are going to write a really bad eulogy for me. I wrote my eulogy. If you've read my blog, I wrote my eulogy. And then I talked with some of my friends, and then someone told me, pray me, akawambia kabisa, mi sina time, siwezi omba, because I am crying, I am mourning, everything was just going on, and I drank like, I chugged. Ushaikunywa hivi venye unakunywanga maji hivi, hivyo ndo nilikunywa wine lita moja. Like tushike tu sasa, kaende. And then now, I am on antidepressant. Now you imagine the kind of highness I was. Now me, I was thinking, I am going to die, I'm not going to see the next day. So my friend calls me and tells me, omba. Kambia mi siwezi omba walai. Mi nakufa. So he helped me pray, but still I did not get the faith that I needed. So I went to Coast. Nilitoka Nairobi na 5,000 shillings. Naenda Coast. I stayed in Coast now, and then I saw like this was is getting bad. So I talked to someone and told them, it's bad. I need a counselor. So the person told me, it's okay, I will look for a counselor for you. So I come back to Nairobi, at least akili imetulia, and I said sikai Nairobi, so nikarudi LD. So I went back to LD, and my therapist was telling me, you are mourning a lot of things. And the good thing is you realized that it was getting hard. So I was like, yeah, it is getting hard. And then she told me, it is not our will, it is God's will to be done. And if you really, because of the history of your mom that you told me, I feel like she had done what she could. Like, alikuwa amemaliza kazi yake. And so I got that peace. Yeah. And then I saw like, yes, I have been diagnosed with PTSD. That's post-traumatic stress disorder. Because one, I am grieving my body that I lost my health, and I'm grieving my mom, I'm grieving my friends. So I like slowly started going back to God. slowly, because it was just like, it's a hard journey, but I slowly started. So still in the same year, I lost my sister-in-law when she was giving birth. So akatuachia mtoto yeye akapass. So like I cried and finished and said her work was done. God's will has been done. Nikaendelea. In October, I lost my paternal cousin, the same age as me. I cried about it, and I got that peace to know that it is their time, it is done. And I was like, I got that peace, because at some point, you know you will die. And right now, by the way, honestly, I'm not afraid of death. But there's that belief that I'm always telling people, I did not die when I was supposed to die. Now let's meet at 120, because that is where I'm heading to, because there is a God in heaven who hears and answers and uses us as a testimony. I am sure I showed John my picture when I was, I think, 32 kilos. You should see the difference. And John told me you should do a story. And I'm like, it has been God. You know, from 32 kilos to where I am right now, it has been God. So yes, as a human being, it is very okay to have doubts. Even Sarah doubted that she could give birth. She was old, but she gave birth.
Yeah, sure.
When Mary got pregnant, I am sure Joseph was saying, huyu kuna mahali kamenicheza.
Yeah.
When John was told, what was John's father's name? Baba John alikuwa anaitwa. I remember the mama alikuwa anaitwa Elizabeth.
Zachariah.
When Zachariah was told, you're going to have a son, Zachariah alikataa kuamini, and he became dumb until his son was born. So I know we all like human beings, and there's a time we will question our faith. And we have people in the Bible who have questioned their faith. We have Zachariah. When was it Joshua? When Joshua was given 300 people to go and fight, I am sure he questioned God at some point. And also he questioned God because he had been abandoned by his people, so he had to come back again to fight for the same people. I'm sure at some point alikuwa anasema, God ile umenicheza. But I know we go through that point where we are unable to remove our spirits from our physical body. The spirit wants to do it, but the body cannot. The spirit wants to do it, but your mind just keeps reminding you that no, it cannot happen like that. Because the devil is trying so much to feed your spirit. I think this topic is one that I would love to have a redo at chapter 2 again. It has been really fun having you guys. And to our listeners, I know you have a lot of questions too. There is a number down on our posters that you can send questions to. On our social media pages, you can leave a comment if you have a question. If you have something that you feel that you want us to talk about, please feel free. And also, if you feel like you want to be a guest in our podcast or just visit us, please just leave your comment there. We are going to read them, and we are going to get back to you. So the next episode is going to be very fun. So next episode we're doing morals, ethics, and contemporary issues. We are going to cover a lot of things that affect the youth, from sexual preferences, abortions, pregnancies. We have peer pressure. We have talents. Yeah, and we're LGBTQ. Yes, we're going to deal with that also. We have adultery, fornication. And I know most of you mnasema muliacha kukuja church, but mkuacha God because of whatever is going on in the church. That also we are going to tackle. Thank you so much for my guests that you are here. Our director today, Mr. Caleb Weir, has been fun and has been amazing. Our sound tech actually alituacha katikati ya podcast akaenda, but ameenda kutafuta food. So we are the Christian Army podcast whereby we are the youths talking about Christ for Christ by Christ from Agape Restoration Center in Kawangware. If you want to visit, the church is headed by the senior pastor Bishop Dr. David Gilbert Wire, and we are also always in church from 8 to 9 for prayer service, 9 to 10 for Bible study, 10 to 11 for praise and worship, and 11 to 12 for our sermon. Feel free to join us anytime on Sundays. For the next Thursday, stay tuned on the next Thursday, this and every Thursday, my friends. And then subscribe onto our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and whatever. I have been your guest, Kipsangok Shebet, and I really love all of you. Asanteni sana, mbarikiwe. Ciao.
Bye.
Baraka.